Hello! This video will show you just how easy it is to set up your own HUD HMIS version of EmpowerDB to collect the information that HUD requires from victim service providers, as well as generating the zipped CSV file for the HUD COC APR or ESG CAPA report. At any time, you can jump to the different sections of this video by clicking on the chapter markers at the bottom. Alright, let's get started. To set up your free account, simply go to empowerdb.com and click on the Join menu. In this example, we'll be setting up a free account, but you can read more and watch this video about the benefits available of our two paid accounts. Here is a list of templates. This video is about the HUD-only template. If you also have VOCA, OVW or FIPSA funding, you'll need to subscribe to one of our paid plans so we can build a system that combines all of your funders together. The rest of this join form should be pretty straightforward and should only take you a couple of minutes. Once you've got this form completed, press submit and your system will be created in seconds. You'll just need to click a verification link that will be sent to your email and then log in with the credentials you entered on this form. Once you're all signed in, you'll be at the EmpowerDB homepage. We first need to go over the two main administrative actions that you'll need to know how to do. First, if you'd like to add additional users to your account, you can do so by visiting the staff list here and clicking the Add New Staff link up top. The fields here should be pretty self-explanatory. Remember, you can add as many users as you'd like. The second admin function you'll need to do is define your list of HUD contracts. In EmpowerDB, each HUD contract is set up as what we call a program. To start, your system was given just one program generically named Residential Program. But you should change the name of that program to match the name of your HUD contract. You can do that by going to the homepage, clicking on Database Administration, selecting Programs, and then selecting that program name. Here, you can edit the program name to be the name of your HUD-funded program. There are also some other settings down below that you should fill out. Skip past all these other settings, the defaults will be just fine. The room list section is a feature specific to EmpowerDB. You're able to set up a list of rooms, units, or beds to assign people into. We find this is very helpful for keeping track of who was in your program at any one time. But it's not required, and you can simply leave only the generic room name here if you would like to. In our example, we are going to be modifying this list to match the room names in our residential program. Please also note the HUD program data section at the bottom. This is important information that must be filled out for the APR or CAPA report. When finished, be sure to save the changes you've made. Next, both our free and paid plans support multiple HUD contracts. You simply need to add a new EmpowerDB program for every HUD contract you have. To do that, starting from the homepage, we click on Database Administration, then Programs, and then Add New Program on the top right. Confirm that you want to add a client program, and then enter the name of the additional contract here, and assign which users should have access to this new program. You can always change this later. Once the new program is created, you can edit its room list and HUD program information just like on the previous screen. That's all you need to know about administering your version of EmpowerDB. Now let's start entering some data. We can start by adding our first new client to the system. From the homepage, we can click Add Client up top. If you added multiple programs, you'll be asked to choose which program you're adding this client into. Click the Continue button, and here's the information that HUD requires to be entered. The questions highlighted in yellow are the more important data points that appear on the HUD report. you'll still be able to save the record with blank data, and the HUD report will still function, but you should still do your best to answer them, even if to confirm that a piece of information is unknown. As you're entering in the client information, keep an eye on the existing client check on the right. If you enter a client with a similarly spelled name or identical birthday as someone who already exists in the system, you'll receive a notice here. Let's take a closer look at the program enrolment section, as it's a key part of the data you'll collect. This is where the system recognises a client as being active or inactive in your various HUD-funded programs. This room field is specific to EmpowerDB. It must be filled in to tell the system which of your residential programs this client is entering. If you see just the one generic room name for your program, you must still select that room name from the list. In this Project Start Date field, we enter the date the client started with this program. For most project types, this is the same as their move-in date. We would then put in the same date for the housing move-in date. For rapid rehousing and permanent supportive housing projects, a client may start with the project on one date and move into housing on another date. If a client never actually moves into housing, it's fine to leave this field blank. When a client moves out or ends their enrolment with the project, you must fill out the project exit date here. Then answer the additional exit questions. If the client re-enrolls into the same program or into another program, you can click the Include Additional Enrolment button here. That will create a new program enrolment entry for the new information to be entered. The disabilities and income sections are also unique. Here, HUD's expectation is that you will create a new entry at annual intervals and upon project exit. But you can also add a new entry here at any time that you know someone's disability or income information has changed. To make a new entry, simply click the Include Additional Entry button at the bottom and fill in the questions for that new entry. Now let's look at the Household Members section. If we say this client's household has just one member, we don't need to enter any additional information. But if we select 2 or more household members, we will be able to enter some basic information about the other people in the household. I'll show you in a moment how to enter the full set of required data for these household members. Before we click the Add New Client button at the bottom, keep in mind that this page just includes the questions needed for the HUD report. Subscribers of our multi-use plan can have as many questions as they want to track contact information, case management data, and any other fields that you or your funders require. Alright, we're all set with this client. We can click the Add New Client button below. Their record is created and we are taken right to their client page. In the future, we can get back to their client record by clicking on the Lookup box on the top right and entering the client name or ID number that this system has assigned. The client's unique EmpowerDB ID number can be found underneath their name in the client record view. From this page, we can also visit the client's intake page to change any of the information we already entered for them. Or we can go directly to the program enrolments, disabilities, or income point-in-time sections if we only want to record changes in those specific sections. Now, let's take a look at the household member entries at the bottom. We can now click on this household member name or look up their record in the lookup box to visit their record. If that household member is recognised as being a child, you'll see a child intake link instead of the adult intake. The questions you'll answer for children are slightly different. And finally, please take note of the programme list in the top menu. This can be a really handy way to see which clients are currently enrolled into your various programmes. If you see a name listed in light grey, that means there's a household member that isn't currently moved into your programme. If that's something that should be corrected, simply click on the name, go to their intake page, and enter the relevant programme enrolment data. And that's it. That's everything there is to know about collecting HUD's required data. Now we can take a look at the COC APR and ESG CAPER report to see how easy it is to turn all of that data into the zipped CSV file that you'll then submit to HUD. To access the HUD report, start on the home page and then click on the Reports link. Then select the HUD report link up top. The report needs to know whether you're looking to generate a COC APR or ESG CAPER. To generate a coordinated entry APR, you must subscribe to one of our paid plans. Next, select the program that you want to be included in the report. You can select multiple programs if you've been instructed to generate a report that bundles multiple contracts together. And then enter the date range the report should use. Click Continue, and here's our report. At the top, you'll see a list of clients who qualified for this report. The highlighted clients have important data that isn't entered. The report can still be run with this information missing. But you should still try to have all clients at 100% completion by clicking on their row and filling out the missing information. And now, when you scroll down, these are the report results. Everything is formatted to look just how HUD defines in their APR and CAPER report documentation. Each number can be clicked on to get a look at which clients make up that number. That way, you can be fully confident in the accuracy of what you're seeing. And at the top of many of the tables, you'll see an important explanatory text that explains how this table's information is being processed. So please make sure you read each of those prompts carefully to better understand how the report is functioning. Once you confirm everything you see is correct, simply click the Export Data button on the bottom right. The zipped CSV file that HUD requires will be immediately downloaded to your computer's Downloads folder. You would then upload that file directly to HUD. Remember, even though you see client names in places when looking in EmpowerDB, the file that HUD receives does not contain client names or even client ID numbers. So, that's everything you need to know about how to set up and use our HUD HMIS version of EmpowerDB. We're very excited to be able to make this version of our system totally free to support HUD-funded organisations of all sizes. If you have further questions, there is additional information in our documentation section available on the homepage. For example, you might be interested in this article on how to delete or merge clients. You can also contact us via the support section here. But please remember that subscribers of our free plan will only be able to let us know about any errors that they might be experiencing or reach out to us about upgrading to one of our other plans. If you're interested in upgrading to our multi-use plan, we'd be delighted to help you to build a system that efficiently tracks all of the information that your organisation collects, that meets all of your other reporting needs with our advanced reporting tools, uploads files to client records, collects data directly from clients or volunteers via offsite forms, and literally so much more. So please feel free to reach out if you'd like further information on how we can help you with any of that. Thank you and take care.